If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you would know I'm a pretty honest guy. If this is the first video you're seeing on the channel, now you know I'm a pretty honest guy. So I'm not making this video to boycott or shit on any specific company, this one in particular being ETS. I'm not making this video to say they're a terrible brand, you shouldn't buy their products or anything like that, because I think ETS is a really great company. I think they make really good quality products. I just think that I got one of the kits that didn't get quality checked as well, and it maybe just got a little bit skipped over on the QC process than the rest of the kits did. So unfortunately, I bought a lemon of a kit. And mistakes happen, shit like that happens, I get it. The type of failure that I had with this kit, I haven't heard of anyone else having. So I think I just have bad luck. And I will even say to you guys that I DM'd ETS directly on Instagram and spoke with them about the kit. They tried to claim to me that the Cerakote is the main cause of the welds on my ETS kit breaking. And I guess I should have started there. But if you guys would have been watching the videos, you would know why I'm making this video. We blew the welds on the downpipe flange and the uppipe flange that goes to my wastegate on my ETS rotated turbo kit. So this is the second time that I have had this turbo kit pulled out of this car strictly from welds breaking. And you can see we had to remodify the downpipe and shorten it a bit because it didn't fit properly after we had to weld a new flange on there. So the reason I said at the start of this video that I'm not boycotting or just shitting on this company directly whatsoever is because ETS did offer for me to send the uppipe back to them. They would fix it and ship it back to me. But the problem with that is I live in Alberta, Canada. For me just to ship that up pipe to the States and then for them to ship it back, I would have to pay for shipping both ways. And that's gonna cost me like $200 alone in shipping. So for me, it was cheaper for me to just get it fixed here myself because I have a buddy named Eric who is a B Pressure journeyman welder in Alberta. So I just get him to fix my stuff. So let's jet over to Eric's shop, get this up pipe fixed. We'll talk a little bit about where ETS messed up. He goes into depth and shows you guys actually why the weld failed, where the sugaring is, where the porosity is in the weld, how this could have been prevented, and all that stuff. Okay, so let's look inside of this up pipe.
So if you look up top where it originally blew.
On the inside or on the outside?
On the outside here. Just show everyone what they're looking at. So that's the first issue we have, which leads back to the inside. You can see the pipe faces are untouched. What that means is they got no penetration in their weld, which is the first telltale sign that this thing's gonna break. The second telltale is this chunk right here. It's sugaring.
Right there, those chunks right on the top, you can see right there.
That's all sugaring. That's when a stainless steel puddle that should be covered with argon because it doesn't have iron in it. So there's nothing for our atmosphere to bond to. So when our atmosphere bonds to it, it fills it up with porosity and pinholes.
There's porosity on the inside of a $4,000 turbo kit up pipe.
Which blows me away because ETS is praised to be a very good company.
Yeah.
And I don't know how their QC allows this to leave their shop.
Yeah, they did. All they did was right here, you can see the gapping here between the flange and the pipe. So all this was they slid the flange over the pipe and then just welded the outside. They didn't even back purge this or anything. So on the, I don't know, are we gonna do this? Do you want to lay a bead on the inside of?
We can put stitches all around it.
Couple stitches on that up pipe one and couple stitches on the bottom one, or the V-band and on the 3-bolt flange.
We'll start with tacking it a few times here. Then I'm gonna take it to the bench and grind out all that shit they put in there. And then we'll back weld it to start and then fill it up.
All right, let's do it, dude. Give me some knucks. And the light hits the ground. Weld the inside and the outside?
I do think the outside like this is gonna be fine, no matter what.
But we want her to be full titty, so we're gonna weld the inside and the outside?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we're talking about. Just so I get this right, the argon is coming out of the tank and you are purging it directly into the pipe, and you're taping it off on both sides, and it's completely sealed.
And you can hear it just
Listen,
playing around.
let's put the mic right in there. You can hear that purge.
It's gonna leave us with a perfect weld, and Daniel will be at the track gapping kids.
And we need to show ETS this footage so that they know how to weld their pipes. I probably shouldn't call them out on camera or whatever. $4,000 is a lot of money for sugar welds, boys. That's all I'm saying.
Shout out ETS for keeping a guy employed.
The thing is, nobody cares if it's pretty on the inside though. Make the outside pretty, and then on the inside it's just gotta be strong. Those are thick. Look at those dimes.
If that doesn't hold 500, I don't know what will.
Well, it's gotta hold 500 and the potential for more, buddy. What if I go on E85? I get warranty? Sounds like you're extending my one pull warranty. Okay, so you get two options. You get all of the money that's in my wallet, or I'll send you $100. You pick. But you don't know how much money's in my wallet.
You're gonna get $40.
I don't know. You have to pick. That's your decision.
I'm a gambling man, Daniel. I gotta take them all.
You're gambling mad? Okay, see how much is in it. This is one of those big YouTuber moments where there's like $1,000 in there.
65 bucks, is that what I see?
Get fucked, buddy.
Gambling man, fuck.
I'm just kidding. I can send you $100. I can e-transfer you.
My man.
I appreciate it. You got me out of a bind because ETS fucked me over twice now. Twice, yeah. You fixed the downpipe and the uppipe now.
Yeah.
Because you were in the 2 years ago. 2 years ago, that was the ETS rotated turbo kit install video. That video is like 40 minutes long, but it's got a lot of views. That video's got to have like 5,000, 6,000, something like that.
I think that was 2 years ago. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
How far the cars come, how far the channels come.
How far your weldings come. But I appreciate it, dude. Love you, buddy.
Love you too. Did I turn it up?
Buddy, full send or no send? Shit, that actually sounds pretty good. So we are back at the house now, and we are ready to get this thing slapped back together. Here is the up pipe that we just fixed. Eric did an absolutely phenomenal job. You guys can see the welds there. They're nice and thick. We actually welded a bead on the inside of the flange as well. So this thing is pretty much bulletproof now. If this blows out, that would blow my mind. Like, that could handle 1,000+ horsepower, I think. Just look at the thickness difference between Eric's welds, which are over there on that wastegate flange on the right, and look at ETS's welds on the left. A lot thinner, not as beefy. So me and Eric actually decided to stitch the inside of the ETS weld so you can see little stitches along the inside there. That's just to make the flange a little bit stronger. And we also did it on this 3-bolt flange, as you guys can see inside of there. So this thing should be good to go. This pipe is cerakoted, and you are gonna be able to visibly see that little chromed out part. But we're gonna put this in and see what it looks like, because obviously the Cerakote doesn't change color. But I'm curious to see, once we put this in, if this part of the pipe is gonna get all nice and pretty rainbow colors from the exhaust getting hot. So I'm not even gonna paint that. Because all that happens to me when I paint my parts with high temp paint is they just start to get all white. Like on the downpipe down there, you guys can see it doesn't have a nice black finish to it. The stuff that did stay black on this downpipe is actual Cerakote, which I had actually professionally done at a shop called the Wheel Clinic Edmonton, which they sponsored this build about 2 years ago when I did all the powder coating and stuff in the engine bay. They do a phenomenal job. So if you guys are in Edmonton area, make sure you guys check out the Wheel Clinic. So just because I have shown this in depth on my channel before, we're gonna get this up pipe slapped back in the car. We're gonna get the turbo back in. And one thing I gotta do real quick is rebuild my braided sleeving on this coolant line right here, because it's all melted and just looks terrible, to be honest with you. And then the turbo should just bolt right up. So let's get this thing back together. Let's get it running. Try rotating the hose clamp to a different spot. Usually you want to slide it back up against the bump/lip, in your case toward the firewall. Already tried that once and she still leaked. Also, if you have room, try adding a second hose clamp and have the screws opposite directions/sides from each other to spread the clamp pressure. I'm cheap, so I found these techniques can help. Good luck. Alright, bet. Let's see if this works. So I completely filled this thing with coolant, but I can't actually bleed the cooling system because I left my coolant funnel at work. So I gotta bring that home tomorrow. So for today, I just completely filled the cooling system up. We won't be able to bleed it. I just put the cap on it. We'll just have air pockets in there. But at least we can run the car and check for leaks and stuff like that. I am praying that this freaking upper rad hose connection does not leak. And hopefully we don't have any exhaust leaks anymore. We also got that new braided sleeving on the coolant hose coming from the AOS to the turbo. We got the turbo blanket back on there. We got a nice thick weld on there, so we shouldn't have any more leaks and everything looks nice and clean and pretty again. So while we still have this thing in the air, I am gonna fire it up, crank the heat inside, and we'll check for leaks. Damn it! Oh, I'm dumb. That V-band on that up pipe flange is not straight at all. That would explain why we have a huge exhaust leak. I'm gonna get that straightened out real quick, and then we'll start it again and see if we still have a leak. Yeah, at least the downpipe flange is good though. 1 out of 2, that's 50%, baby. All right, I'd say that's a little bit more straight than before. So let's fire it up without the heat shield on there this time and make sure we got no exhaust leaks. Back, baby, let's go. Well, we got no more exhaust leaks now that I put the V-band on the way it's supposed to be. Hopefully that upper rad hose isn't leaking anymore. The exhaust on this car is so mellow now. I absolutely love it. You could almost say she's a sleeper. If an STI could be a sleeper. She's definitely not as big of a sleeper as this car is gonna be though. Hopping inside the car now. I don't have the heat on because it's just blowing cold air because I have the cap on. We're not actually bleeding the coolant. The AFR is a little bit, actually a lot better than what it was before. We're kind of hovering between a 14.6 to a 15, which is pretty good for at idle. At idle, you should be at 14.7, aka stoichiometric ratio, they call it. Boost, we're sitting at 16.9 inches of mercury of vacuum, which is good. Fuel pressure at idle is sitting at 30 PSI. And this monitor right here is actually reading the exact same as that AFR gauge because I have my AFR gauge wired directly to the ECU. This one right here is my upstream O2 sensor. So that's the one that is in my headers. This one is in my downpipe. So technically I don't even need this gauge, but when I'm racing, I like having my AFR and boost right in front of me. And I have a oil pressure gauge on the way, another AEM X series gauge. It's gonna go right where my access port is sitting right now. I actually have a little vent piece that replaces this vent right here, and then the gauge will sit right there. And then I'm trying to find a 3D printed piece for my access port to mount up here. That way I can have my access port, oil pressure gauge, boost, AFR. And then eventually I want to get oil temp or something. I don't know if I'm going to get pillar gauges or if I can find gauge mounts for these vents right here or something, but we'll see. For now, it's going to be oil pressure gauge first, but I got to wait for that to come in. And for the access port mount that goes on the vent, the only ones that I can find is there's two brands. There's dialed and there's Mach V. The dialed ones are apparently super hard to get. Subi Supply Co. used to stock the dialed ones, but now they don't because they're on such back order. So I can't decide what I want to do, if I want to get a Mach V one or if I want to get the dialed one and wait until they come back into stock with Subi Supply Co. Which, by the way, if you guys need to get any Subaru parts, get them off Subi Supply Co. Use your discount code Daniel5. It'll get you guys 5% off. I don't make any money off of it. I just got that code to help you guys out. So if you're buying something, why not save 5%? Another thing with that code, I've had a lot of people DM me and message me saying, hey, your discount code only worked for certain products in my order. That's because there's certain manufacturers that only allow for discounts on their products. Some of the big manufacturers like Cobb, IAG, ETS, Grimspeed, companies like that don't allow for discounts unless they have a promotion going on. So the discount code isn't gonna work for those products. Definitely put the code in, try it, but if the code only works for certain products, that's why. Now that we got everything back together on this car, our next step is gonna be to rebuild this fuel system. And honestly, this video is probably long enough already. I've really been trying to keep my videos a little bit shorter for you guys, even though I talk a lot, because who has the time to sit down and watch like a full 20-minute video? So that's where I'm gonna end this one. Next video, we're gonna get the fuel system set up, change the oil in this thing, and maybe we'll take her for a first drive, if Alberta weather lets us do it. Peace out, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you guys for all the suggestions in the comments for all the little tiny fixes for small things like double clamping the rat hose. I always read your guys' comments. I always try to respond to absolutely every single one of them. So thank you guys for watching the videos and showing support. Peace out. I'll catch you in the next one.